first win here at Worlds.
Thank you very much, as I'm joined here by Ziv and Max, who's assisting for the translation. First up, a humongous congratulations on that victory for you guys. Fantastic game. First up, what does it mean after coming into Worlds as an underdog in this group to take this win off one of the favorites?
首先恭喜你们获得胜利，然后你们在小组里面目前是看起来是黑马的姿势，然后击败了 Fnatic。那你们现在对这种感觉有什么感受如何？
就是觉得很开心，因为毕竟我们第一场打得并不是很好，所以这算我们的开壶这样子。
We're really happy to get this win because we didn't play that well during our first match, and this is our first win, so we're happy to have that.
So you guys played very well in this match. Ziv, we know you're the Summer Split MVP over in the LMS, and we were looking forward to what you could do here. Tell me about this matchup versus Huni, one of the best top laners in EU.
我们知道你夏季赛是 MVP， 然后打得也很好，这场比赛你表现得也很好。那你跟 Huni 对线这点有什么想法？跟他对他的表现如何？你的表现如何？
我觉得 Huni 在对线上就是表现得非常凶，所以我觉得他很容易在一些失误之后马上想要把它打回来，所以我觉得这是我们很容易找到他失误的地方。
I think Huni plays really aggressive, and when he makes a mistake, he always tries to get it back. So whenever he makes a mistake and tries to be even more aggressive, we capitalize on that.
Can you explain a little more? Was that the key to beating Fnatic, that they get overconfident in the mid game?
想请教，可以解释一下说，是因为你觉得 Huni 是不是太自信了，所以这是你们打败他们的其中一个原因？
其实也不太算是，算是我们团队上配合比较好。
Not entirely. We think we had a better team fights and better chemistry.
You had incredible team fights and incredible shot calling at the end of that game, so congratulations. With this, what does this mean for you guys? How far do you think you can go in this group knowing that you just took down Fnatic?
你们的确是团队打得很好，那你们已经拿下这个胜利了。那接下来这些比赛，你觉得你们在小组的出现机会大不大？然后对小组的看法？
那我觉得我们只要在保持这状态，我们的出现几率就很高。然后小组上 IG 好像状态也不太好，所以 C9 有点就是超乎预料的强，所以我们觉得下一场对上 C9 我们要认真对讨论那个选角之类的。
I think if we capitalize on this and if we keep our condition up, there's a good chance that we'll get out of the group. It seems like IG isn't conditioned that well either, but C9 has surprised, Cloud9 has surprised everybody's expectations. And now we're paying more attention to him. We'll be very careful preparing our next match against them.
Well, it's certainly possible. The group is wide open. Congratulations, and thank you so much for the interview. Guys, it's bonkers over here in Paris. Wrap it up.
I feel like bonkers is a good word for it. when Cloud9 is sitting 2-0 atop the group.
That's not even our best team from NA. That's our 7th best team.
Damn.
Come at us. Come on.
NA strongest region.
Okay. Well, then I humbly suggest something I've been suggesting for a long time, which is that we move to, you know, we had Battle of the Atlantic in the offseason, Pacific Scrim.
There it is.
Korea and North America. Yeah, 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2. Let's do it.
I like this idea. I'll pitch it to the execs.
Cool.
I'll pitch it to the execs.
It's catchy.
China wants nothing to do with this.
Keep us out of it. All right, but in all seriousness, this game, you know, early on, we were looking at it saying, oh, okay, Fnatic, typical Fnatic. They're building an early lead, 2K very early on. And then AHQ clawed their way back into it. Ziv, that man on the screen there, was a huge role in that as well.
Why you got to do this to me? I just said Fnatic would go 6-0 and then AHQ actually shows up. No, I was really glad to see that AHQ got it together. This is much more what we were expecting from this team, not the pitiful first game that they showed us.
And, you know, Ziv had a great role, and I will talk about it, but Arn, they put so much into it. They refused to knock the turret down because they want to get levels and farm onto this guy. And when it gets to late game, and Arn, whatever you want to call him, he is amazing AD carry.
But what I love about the draft here is they pick Tom Kench.
Yeah.
They pick Tom Kench for On. Every time On is in trouble because there's an Olaf and an Annie, they're going to run straight at him. He's like, oh, my God, he's going to be there. Oh, my God. And he clenches for the Kench, and he gets inside the belly, and then he just runs away. It was so good. I loved Albus in these fights. The way he was picking him up and running, the direction he was running was always really good. He was never putting him in a bad position, and he even used it to bait a couple times. So the way that this Tahm Kench was played out, I think was a great debut and showcase of what the champion can do. And I don't think this is the last that we've seen of him, especially in teams that love protecting their AD carry.
Yeah, with these low mobility hyper carries, Tahm Kench becomes incredibly relevant. And you could see that this is something they had really practiced coming into this match, that they knew exactly. Albus was so aware of cooldowns and when he could eat the Jinx and when he could spit the Jinx back out safely.
And let's talk about what that does to the rest of the team fight, because all of a sudden, mid laner, top laner, no need to peel. You can just dive the heck out of the enemy backline, and that's what we saw time and time again. Westall flying in on his Fizz. You have this Mega Gnar nailing people with a wallop. It wasn't even the Mega Gnar half the time, and across the board, AHQ thrive in chaos, and that is exactly what those fights were.
Exactly. It's so hard to go for proper target selection when there's a Gnar in the middle of your team, a 40% CDR Fizz, and that's when the breakpoint started happening, where he's able to Playful Trickster, Zhonya's Q, Playful Trickster again. And then if you go for the Jinx, Tahm Kench has that person's back. And then hitting the Tahm Kench doesn't seem that useful either. So really, going after this composition was extraordinarily difficult, not to mention, just to add icing on top of the cake, Elise can repel. You didn't have a really solid target to go after, except for Ziv, but he got ahead and he got to a tanky point.
So AHQ has showed us some of what we're looking for here. They finally showed up, as you said, Monty, in this game. Now let's flip to the other side, because Fnatic, we were expecting them to do well. This is a team that everyone's expecting to do well, if not finish first in this group. What have we learned about them after this game?
Their mid laner is really good. Like, really, really good. He was 130 CS up. He dictated the pace of the lane. He nailed some shockwaves. Sure, late game team fighting got difficult, but I think it's because of the reasons we listed. He is a very good player.
He is. Now, he also had a blind pick Fizz into him, so he did have some more opportunities. I'd love to see AHQ get some more Ahri in there, which is one of Westdoor's champions, a little safer in that blind pick. But man, Fnatic, I think we're seeing over the course of this tournament, no one really knew what this patch was, 5.18. And I think we're learning that there are a lot of options against Darius. Yes. And I think we're going to see, starting in the next few days, much lower priority on that pick.
All right, well, let's pull up the standings to see how things have changed after today's games. Group A had the day off, so CLG remains at the top 2-0, followed by the Flash Wolves and Coup Tigers, tied for second. Then in Group B, it's clear skies for Cloud9, who are flying high above AHQ, Fnatic, and IG. SK Telecom controls Group C with a perfect 3-0, while EDG settles in second. Finally, in Group D, KT Rolster and Origin are undefeated, while LGD and TSM are still looking for their first win. A big part of C9's second win was one fight that got Viciter on Twitter, who writes, "Sneaky and Incarnation, that was a beautiful dragon fight by Cloud9. Let's check out your world's big play of the day."
There's a kill there, Sneaky could start getting the kills. Kakao with one, though. Balls does go down during the middle of all that. IG trying to turn it around, but it looks like C9 has enough. Triple kill for Sneaky.
See how Incarnation and Sneaky do work here.
Whoa.
Gets the static shiv crit as well as the dunk here. And Incarnation actually doesn't have the perfect ult, but it still zones Kakao and Rookie off to the side a little bit.
I mean, this fight to me just showcased the strength of those two players, given all the things we talked about with Balls having been behind and fighting to even stay relevant in the game. They have to rely and fall back onto these two carries so much to carry them through these games.
It was a great core. They had a great laning phase as well. Both of them were about 40-50 CS up between Incarnation and Sneaky, and they were able to fall back on their shoulders and allow them to win the game. I did think that team fight was a great showcase of the position that Sneaky can have on that team and how he's been a consistent threat throughout the split. Even when his team isn't doing too well, he still holds positions like that and holds his ground.
Well, if you want to see more plays like that, make sure to meet us back here tomorrow for the final day of Week 1. We'll be starting the day off in Group D as TSM challenges China's LGD Gaming. Then it's on to KT Rolster versus Europe's Origin. After that, Invictus will face off against AHQ Esports. The action gets underway at 2 p.m. Central European Time, 5 a.m. Pacific, so mark your calendars. Looking at the lineup, though, gentlemen, which of these games are you keeping your eye on to close out our week?
CLG Flash Wolves. That's the one I'm looking at personally, because I think that CLG might have what it takes to close it out against the Flash Wolves. Sorry, Coup Tigers. Coup. Man, Tigers, Wolves.
It's just a
Tigers,
zoo.
Wolves. They already beat Flash
too
Wolves.
many
I want to
animals.
relive that. I'm gonna go watch the replay later. But yeah, KU Tigers versus CLG, because I think that in KU's current state and what I've been hearing about their scrims very recently, I think that CLG is going to be the team to actually come out on top of Group A.
Definitely possible. I'm looking forward to the KT Origin matchup just because we have these 2-2-0 teams. Both of them have been drafting very intelligently. I'm really just looking forward to the pick and ban phase of that game in particular.
See, I'm confused right now because I don't know whether I want to watch IG play or LGD. I don't really want to watch either of them play if they continue to play like they're
Spawn,
playing.
it's okay to want to watch a team from a different region. It is, I promise you.
But it's because I'm perplexed right now. I just don't know if there's a complete misread on where power lies within the world of League of Legends, and I was fooled the whole time, or whether they just haven't showed up. So I want to keep an eye on the Chinese team, see if they can get it together.
I'm with you. The KT Origin game is going to be very interesting, to say the least. Well, now for myself and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and stay right there for another episode of Worlds Tonight in just 15 minutes.
First match, it's going to